The tale of rock is long and fabled. A journey that began in the dark days of metal, when a simple man fought his way from roadie to rock god.
Hey, this is Tim Schafer, creator of Brutal Legend, and you're on NRV-TV.
Hell yeah!
Brutal Legend is an action game where you battle through this heavy metal world that's inspired by the crazy visuals that you see on the album covers, you know, with a chrome volcano and a mastodon and a hot rod. You play a roadie for a heavy metal band who gets pulled back in time to a barbaric world that looks just like an album cover come to life. And he has to use his roadie skills to put together an army and fight for the liberation of humanity and fight against the demonic overlord that's oppressing them.
I'm supposed to think you're a nun, but I know you're really some kind of big, ugly demon, so let's have it. Aha! I knew it! Big, ugly demon.
When we were working on Day of the Tentacle and creating characters, we wanted to use the characters from Maniac Mansion, the previous game in that series, but also add new characters. And we're like, what's a new character that you haven't really seen in a video game before? And we were at a party and met this roadie from Megadeth named Tony, who had all these crazy stories about the world of rock and roll from the perspective of a roadie. And he was such an interesting guy that we're like, let's have a roadie for a heavy metal band. That'll be great. And so we added Hoagie, but we didn't really explore his roadiness very much.
He can build any stage, tune any guitar, and fix anything. He is a roadie.
They live right alongside the rock stars and travel with them, and they see all the decadence and the excess and stuff, but they don't get the applause and they don't get the same level of the girls and everything, but they do all the work, and there's something humble about that and something cool. Just that's why we made a character that was a roadie.
Eddie Riggs was the world's greatest roadie, but when he is drawn back into an ancient age of rock, he will discover an empire on the verge of destruction.
Oh, hey, what's up? I'm Jack Black. You caught me wielding a giant battle axe. Yeah, I make it look easy, but that's only because I'm a trained professional. Yeah!
Jack Black himself, he does this character in Tenacious D and School of Rock that's just a guy who loves music and lives for music in both the serious hardcore side of rock and metal, but also the over-the-top ridiculous side of it that's still funny, brings those together at the same time. And so he inspired the character a lot.
Yeah! It's pretty awesome, huh?
We spent at least 2 years on the soundtrack. So, I had a list of my favorite songs from like Black Sabbath and Motorhead and Judas Priest and the early Scorpions, and then set our publishers' lawyers out to go get the rights for them. There'll be some people who play it because it's a heavy metal game. Some people who don't even like heavy metal will just maybe like it because of the action or the humor, but we try to pick really, really good songs for the soundtrack so that when they're playing the game, they'll learn about it and they'll find themselves liking heavy metal by the end of it. So it's a kind of a heavy metal world domination Trojan horse conversion plan.
What is that sound?
It's a devil screaming. It's an angel singing.
It's f***ing awesome.
It's called heavy metal.
I think there is a very serious link between video games and heavy metal. And maybe it's because if heavy metal fans are feeling alienated or they're the kind of people who don't feel like they fit in, then that kind of person maybe is naturally inclined to play video games because you can play them by yourself or something. Maybe that's one theory. Or also, they both rely and are inspired a lot by folklore. I think heavy metal and Viking metal, and there's a lot of pulling from mythology, Norse mythology, and just songs about good and evil and the battles, epic battles in power metal goes into that a lot.
So, you want to help me fight demons and stuff? Yeah.
It's funny, you see a metal band on stage, they look like they're dressed for medieval combat. They're wearing spikes and stuff. And that's one of the inspirations for the game, is thinking that a guy who's really into metal, like Eddie, who wears all that stuff, do they secretly want to go back in time and fight in medieval times with a broad axe? And part of me feels that they do, and that's what that game is about.